Hey, hey!
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening? Hold on one second. Let me turn this up. All right, can you hear me okay?
I got you. I'm trying to get some good lighting in here.
Yeah,
with Pivot and Go in the background. Perfect.
Right on. Hey, I got some dudes. We just got done with the 14s practice. They want to say hi to you. Say what's up, Coach Nurse.
What's up?
So
Man.
we just got done here with we got our 14s and our 17s practicing today. So I lost my voice a little bit in that one.
Hey, that facility is next level, man. You weren't kidding.
Yeah. So I'm having hard time hearing you here, but we'll just roll with it if that's cool with you. I just got a couple questions.
Yeah, I can hear you great. Just let me know if you can't hear me.
There we go. Hey, I guess just, if you could just kind of tell, we got some people popping on here, coaching in the TBT, that's, awesome talent in that tournament. And you were asked to coach again this year, which I'm sure, you feel is a huge honor. What can you kind of talk about, what kind of honor that is to coach and just what the talent level is in that tournament? Because it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, man. First of all, it's an absolute honor to be able to coach in it, and the reason I'm coaching in it is because Jimmer Fredette, him and his brother run a team, so he asked me to coach in it, and he's been a longtime friend of mine. And our backer is Floyd Mayweather, so just to be the honor of being on Floyd Mayweather's team is pretty cool. But it's a ton of talent, man. We have 7 guys on my team that played significant NBA minutes. We have first-round draft picks. We have some of the best players overseas right now, some of the best players that played in college, and it's a big-time honor for them to come to me in a tournament like this and really passionately wanting to play in this thing. Because a lot of guys will look at it, especially this year. We've been tested 5 times in 5 days, and we get a nose test tomorrow. So, to go through that shows me a lot of what the guys are like. And it's a fun tournament. Yesterday, my boy's Joe Johnson. I coached him with the Brooklyn Nets. I was talking to him about it yesterday. Just Joe Johnson being here is a big deal.
Yeah. Hey, one question you just brought up, the Brooklyn Nets, that I have, and I know a lot of guys that we have in our facility ask the question. So in 2016, you're the shooting coach for the Brooklyn Nets, which, awesome. And they go from essentially reading about it, the worst to the best in three-point shooting percentage. What was the mindset that you took going in, to that challenge? And what secrets, if you could, share with us from going to last to best in anything is incredibly difficult, especially in three-point shooting percentage, especially in the NBA. So what were some of the things that you instilled in those guys?
Yeah, so mainly the secret is not really a secret, but it's something a lot of people don't understand is these guys, they're very high level shooters. They're great shooters. But just getting them to believe that and also getting them to understand where their best shots come from. We had a guy, for example, Wayne Ellington, who's one of the best shooters in the NBA. He was shooting a lot of shots off the dribble and doing all these dribble moves, and his percentage was 22% shooting off the dribble. But in catch and shoot, he was 52%, crazy numbers. So I showed him that. I was like, Wayne, you're one of the best shooters in the NBA. Stick to what you do the best. Go to your strengths, and you're going to have you'll be able to shoot a great percentage. He went on to get over 40%, get a 2-year deal with the Miami Heat. So a lot of it, honestly, man, is, obviously they want to get better. They want to improve. Yeah. So that's the number one thing. I was just a vessel to help them. It was all their work ethic and their desire. But then just the self-belief. And for everybody listening here, we all know how many hours we've put in the gym, and that's where we can gain a lot of confidence. One shot doesn't mean we're a bad shooter or a good shooter. We're always a good shooter.
No, 100%. What I love that you just said right there, we preach to all of our guys here is, doing what you do best, right? When you get out on the floor and practicing things that, maybe don't do so well, right? But when it comes game time, doing the things that you do well. And I love that you just said that because as well as I do, our guys hear from me and they hear from me and they hear from our coaches, they hear from our coaches, but sometimes taking someone like you to say something like that, right? It's like it's that parent thing. Your dad tells you something your whole life and you don't believe him, then your coach says it and all of a sudden it makes sense, right? So that's cool you said that. Hey, another question that I had for you. You brought up doing what you do best, but also breaking it down to the fundamentals. I had the opportunity actually to go to an NBA D League game when I was living in Phoenix. I went over to LA, and I ended up in the back hall. And lo and behold, I look in and I see Kobe Bryant in getting some shots, right? So cool Kobe Bryant moment for me. Now, there were guards all over the place, or I would have tried to sneak in. But it was cool because for like 30 minutes, the only thing he started down in the short corner and just practiced the footwork only of that fadeaway shot that he had right there, kind of Jordan-esque fadeaway. And, I told that story to my guys about how important, just not the shot, right, but the footwork and the mentality and just, the repetition of different things that you don't think are that big of a deal, but at the end of it are the most important things. What, being one of the greatest shooting coaches here in the world, what can you say to that? Because we have a bunch of our guys I see, that are watching. I got some knuckleheads over there that are hooting and hollering at me, but what can you talk to about that?
So that is so well said. And I'm going to tell you a couple things right now. One is a longer story that I'll tell it, Cam, but for the first thing on your Kobe point, a good friend Ellington is one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Right? When you get out on the floor and practicing things that maybe don't do so well, right? But when it comes game time, doing the things that you do well. And I love that you just said that because as well as I do, our guys hear from me and they hear from me and they hear from our coaches, they hear from our coaches, but sometimes taking someone like you to say something like that, right? It's like it's that parent thing. Your dad tells you something your whole life and you don't believe him, then you're being one of the greatest shooting coaches here in the world, what can you say to that? Because we have a bunch of our guys I see, that are watching. I got some knuckleheads over there that are hooting and hollering at me, but what can you talk to about that?
So that is so well said. And I'm going to tell you a couple things right now. One is a longer story that I'll tell it, Cam, but for the first thing on your Kobe point, a good friend of mine was with Team USA basketball and Nike camps, and he saw him do his workouts every morning. He did them at 4 a.m., and for the first hour, all he did was footwork, form shooting, fundamentals. Kobe Bryant, the best player in the NBA, most talented at that time, hour of fundamentals.
Yeah.
That's your Kobe point for sure. That's, spot on. You're right about it. So I got the chance to spend a lot of time with the Golden State Warriors before the 2015-2016 season. Steve Kerr's a good friend. Ron Adams is my mentor, so I know the coaching staff well. So I got to go there and watch.
Good mentors.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got to go up there and watch practices in preseason and at the start of the year. And literally, like these best shooters, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, for the first, I kid you not, hour, maybe even more of practice, it's just form shooting, footwork, ball handling. Like, I went in there kind of like, I want to see all this cool, crazy stuff that they're going to do.
Right, yeah.
But it was the boring basics.
Yeah.
But you have to have those fundamentals. And I tell kids, like I'm sure you deal with it. Oh, Steph Curry's doing this, so I can. Hey, Steph Curry's also shot 8 billion shots in his life. Once you get to that level, you can do it. He can.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that's important that our kids hear that from somebody like you who have met these people and had the opportunity to maybe work some of these guys out, talk to these guys. My own 6-year-old son, right? I have 2 daughters who are dancers. Finally got my basketball player. 6-year-old son, Steph Curry's his favorite player, and he watches and, even my 6-year-old out in the driveway, he wants to go shoot 30-footers, to start. And we just had a shooting camp here. We just ended. And I said, some of the best shooters that I've ever been around in my coaching career and just that I've known in my life, the first thing they do when they walk in the gym is walk right up to the hoop and they start form shooting. And again, it's one of those deals, man, where it's like we can continue to harp on that type of stuff, but hearing it from you, I think is very important for, I know, our audience for sure. With that, being an NBA skills trainer and, traveling around the world and working with some of the greatest basketball minds, for little Sioux City, Iowa, up here in northwest Iowa, right off the Missouri River, it's a big deal for us, to get Coach Nurse coming into the facility and working with some of our guys. What can our community, what can our athletes expect from the camp that you're going to run here in a couple of weeks?
Man, first of all, thank you for those words, man. Thank you. That means a lot. And shoot, I'm from Iowa. I'm from small town Pella, Iowa. I grew up right down the road from Kyle Korver, and I'll tell the kids a lot of stories of NBA players that I've worked with, like Kyle, like how he formed Shoots, and a bunch of different stories that I'll tell, so they get that. Okay, NBA players are doing that. I can do it. But I mean, from the camp, you're going to learn a lot on the basketball court. I'm going to give you detailed points, like literally the same type of stuff that I teach to NBA players. I'll give it to them, make sure that they're able to learn it. But also, not just the skills, but to build confidence, to help you like realize that if you have a goal, you can absolutely achieve it. Like for myself, I'm from small town Pella, Iowa, middle of nowhere, never dunked a basketball, unathletic, nothing given to me. But since I had a goal and didn't let anybody tell me I couldn't achieve it, I was able to do it. And I know if I can do it, anybody can do it. So there's a lot more than just basketball. And I'm going to help you become the best shooter you could possibly be, high IQ player, bunch of cool NBA stories that they'll love. And honestly, man, it's an honor for me to be able to come to that camp. Like, I know Iowa basketball, and if people aren't from Iowa or know Iowa basketball, they don't know what I'm talking about. But if you know, you know. And it's a ton of
and that's just it. No, you're 100% right. Again, I think our guys and gals are sick of Coach Cooper's stories. But when I left at the young age of 23 and moved to Phoenix, Arizona, whole different basketball world. And I met a lot of people down there that were from Iowa as well. And basketball, there is just that. There's that connection. There's that almost unspoken respect that we all had for each other. And I say this all the time. It's crazy, but when I moved down to Arizona, there was not an Arizona Basketball Coaches Association, crazy enough. Well, as you know, the state of Iowa, it's crazy huge Coaches Association. So ironically enough, myself and two other coaches from Iowa, Nate Bjorker being one of them, and a guy by the name of Michael Worth, all three from Iowa, started the Arizona Basketball Coaches Association, which we've two of the three have moved on, and obviously Nate's got a big old world championship ring on right now. But it's being from Iowa is special, and having you back in the gym, being from Iowa, being able to tell these stories of the people that you've worked with. And one thing that I love about you, Coach, is just the humility that you show, and the fact that you could be in China, you could be in LA, and you're coming to Sioux City, Iowa. And that's just, probably the biggest thing that I love the most about you, and the thing I appreciate, the most about you. But I want you to know that our guys and gals are super jacked to have you in the gym. We're obviously in a little bit different time. We're doing our best to socially distance, but when our people get in here, man, they're just excited about the game of basketball. They're really excited to have you here. One question I have from one of my guys as they were reading was the 3-point competition to win NBA tickets. So I got, so if you could give I see one of them I think is tuning in. If you could give him a little bit of like, what does that look like, just so he can practice up?
Yeah. First of all, I got to put it back on you guys too, because I've ran a lot of camps throughout the world, like over 50 countries, and you're in the top 1% of how structured, how organized, how well put together, and how, like, I've never done this with a camp before. Like, this is just like,
that's awesome.
Guys have passion. Iowa players have passion. So I'm super jacked. But the 3-point contest, so everybody will play each other, and there's one winner from the camp that will face me in the finals on the last day. And then it's 1 minute on the clock, one rebounder, one ball. Whoever makes the most threes wins. And just so everybody knows, I've never lost, and I've only lost once ever to an NBA player. And that's Norm Powell got really lucky and really high. So that was the only time it's happened. So I hope you guys like watching the NBA on TV because you're not going to beat me.
Well, we got some. I know we got some people that are down in the gym right now that are practicing up for you. Hey, before I appreciate the time that you took, but before we let you go, I guess coaching where you're coaching and the kind of the path that you've taken, right? You've kind of done it all. What would you say was the greatest challenge and I know this might be a loaded question, right? There's 14 different challenges every single year, but what do you feel has been the greatest challenge for you, kind of getting to the place? And as you, like, in retrospect, seeing, I mean, you're coaching a TBT, man, team. That's awesome, right? I mean, I would love to be there coaching one of those teams right now. So from where you were to where you are right now, and just kind of reflect upon your journey and maybe just give us like the greatest challenge that you've had along your way.
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, the greatest challenge for me was always wanting to be somewhere where I wasn't. I wanted to be at a higher level. I wanted to be in the NBA. Then I wanted to be the best NBA shooting coach.
Great answer.
So for kids, like I traveled the world. Like when I look back on it, like I went from country to country, but there were times that I didn't just really like soak it in and appreciate it, because you're gonna hit a spot. You're gonna want to keep getting higher. But if you can't find the joy in the journey that you're going through, because we've all been gifted with God-given abilities and a plan for us far greater than we know. But if we can't find joy in those just every day, then we're going to be miserable. So the greatest challenge for me was being able to balance that. Figure like, hey, I'm going to get there if I take these steps. But it's also, like, one of my favorite quotes is, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Like, it takes that long. For Nick, it took him 27 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the hardest thing, of just wanting things now, especially in the society we live in. But if we know that we're putting in the 1% steps, we will get there.
No, man, I love that. That's such a great answer. And, you brought up Nick, and, I used to run Nick's shooting camp at Skyline High School in Mesa, Arizona. When he was down there, he and Nate Bjorken, and just seeing where those guys, I know Nate a lot better. He was the head varsity coach, at Cactus Shadows High School in Arizona. Now he's a world champion, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So I love that answer, and I think it's a lot that that our guys and our staff can relate to. And I, knowing now in my infinite wisdom and my oldness, I understand how lucky our kids are to have you coming to us and being able to. Basketball is basketball, man, and I love basketball, and you're going to share some great drills, and it's going to be great. But just the golden nuggets, like what you just shared right there, is what I'm the most excited about for this camp. We just feel so blessed to have you in the city, and we're going to show you a good time while you're here. We're going to put you in one of our best hotels, take you to our best restaurants, and we're going to show you Sioux City, Iowa, man. So, just in closing here, I guess, your game is Thursday at 1 o'clock. Is that correct?
Thursday at 1 o'clock Central Time. Yep, we're playing
1 o'clock Central Time. So just want to encourage everybody who's watching and will watch this to get on and watch our boy Coach Nurse and his squad on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Coach, man, we appreciate you. We can't wait. I'm sure we'll hook up on some other stuff as like I said, we got the best hype man in the business, Jeff, who's over here signaling at me right now. So I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you with this, man. Again, so blessed, so happy that you took the time for us. You got any closing comments before we sign off?
I mean, I just reiterate what you're saying. Like you say, you're blessed and excited. I'm blessed and excited. I haven't been able to do a camp for so long because of this world that we live in.
Yeah.
And you being able to make that happen, like that's big time, man. So I'm really big on iron sharpens iron. Being around great people, motivated people. That's who I love. That's you guys to a T.
Man, we appreciate that. I'm going to give you one more little view here of our gym 5-court palace that we've created here that is actually pretty empty right now. About an hour ago, this thing was rocking, but we can't wait to have Coach Nurse in the arena here, Sioux City, Iowa. Coach, man, wish you the best in the tournament. I'm sure we'll talk here very soon, but again, appreciate the time that you took with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks brother. Guys. Good luck. Thanks, bud.